Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new to the channel, I am Mommy Lala, and welcome to our continuing series of Craft Every Day in August here at Mommy Guide Inc. Yes, we will continue on going through the stash that I have built up for over more than 4 decades. So we've done washi tapes, we've done scraps, we've done what other things, materials and tools that we haven't actually used. I haven't actually used in quite a while. And for today, it's all about what do you call this? Punchers. Yes. So truth be told, I actually started with punchers many decades ago when there was no electric die cutting machine, or if there was, it was very limited. And of course, what do you call this? Die cutting machine, manual die cutting machines were also quite expensive and not easily available here. And so what I did in terms of if I wanted to create shapes and fun stuff like on my layouts for my scrapbooks, because I used to be a scrapbooker, more on scrapbooking before I actually turned into card making, right? So I will show you some of those just like before. All right, and let's see which one are still working. And at this point in time, which one do you feel is something that we can keep? How about you guys? Okay, so my question to you all, have you tried using punchers for your craft projects before or now? And do you still use them if you've had them before, right? So please engage with me in the chat and let's talk about it. All right. So, of course, before we proceed, I would just like to say hi to Susan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening is her awesome greeting to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much, Susan. She has been an awesome participant in this Craft Every Day in August. She has given so many amazing tips, awesome, fun quips and all of that. It would never have been the same without all of you in the chat. Thank you so much. Of course, my dear friend Dinky was here with me a few days ago, right? So we did scrapbook. So thank you so much. Oh, that's a very cute photo of Timmy when he was younger. Happy Friday to you as well, Pierre. Thank you so much, my dear friend, for dropping by. Yes, check out Pierre as well. Oh, is this a new channel, Pierre? RDE Chill Natural Highs. Okay, Pierre, can you tell us a little bit about this new channel of yours? I know Pierre, I think, if I'm not mistaken, used to be with marketing, or was that Eric? Okay, let me see. Let us check, okay, what Pierre's channel is all about. You know me so well. I was getting coffee. Exactly, right? Hello, Pierre. And Dinky from Susan. Jaden, hello. I love punchers. High five, sis, right? So when there was nothing to be found here in the Philippines before, so probably Jaden and I and some other crafters, that was our go-to tool. Right? So it was really punchers. And the punchers before were very small and the brand were like Carl, C-A-R-L. I don't know if that's still available somewhere else in the world, but up to now, it's still available here for us. But those are very limiting because they're very small and quite expensive. Okay, my first love are punchers, still using small flowers of Carl. Yeah, so that Carl is actually the brand, okay, of the punchers that most of us here in the Philippines started with and up to now, right? So there you go. And we have Vess. I still use my craft puncher, especially for making tags. So Vess actually, although she's using her Facebook, she does have a YouTube channel as well. And if you are here in the Philippines or you want to check out her products, she actually does commission work, as well as she does have personalized crafty products as well, right? So she's an amazing crafter as well. By the way, I have great news, all right? So I was supposed to do this at the end of my CEDA, but anyways, you know what? The earlier the better. Okay, so I am calling out to all local crafters, right? So whether you're Filipino or a foreigner here in my country, but you are here in the Philippines and you would love to showcase some of your products, yes, please message me, contact me, DM me, either or email me, because we have been invited to PrintCon 2025, right? So PrintCon has graciously given the crafting community not one but two booths, right? So care of yours truly. So I just want to showcase the Filipino or the local crafters here in the Philippines, right? So and if you also want to sell something, okay, just message me. Okay, you just need to be there because I cannot be the one to man your booth, right? If ever, again, message me. This is gonna be in October, and we will be planning sometime in September. I will be calling a meeting so we can all, prepare our booth and know that just the minute they look at our booth, they know that we are amazing crafters, right? So again, I'm sorry for my foreign friends because it's a face-to-face event. Although I will actually be going live for the 3 days that it is going to happen. So it's a PrintCon convention. So it's not just crafters. So it's a combination of both the suppliers, the users, and of course, one of the users are crafters. So there will be people who would talk about machines, papers, everything that has to do with printing, right? So it's an amazing event. So if you want to check that out, you can check it on the Facebook page. There's a Facebook page for PrintCon 2025. It's going to be at the PTTC, all right, beside World Trade, right? So there you go. Hi, Jaden from Susan. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, today is all about punchers. Okay, not punching, but punchers. Punchers like this. Okay, these are quite newer versions, but more of like this one. So, right, so you put something like you put a paper patterned or what do you call this, plain. Okay, and then okay. So you put it inside. Okay, let me just remove. Okay, and then so there's a slot or a slit or a slot inside, and then you put it in, and then you will see, okay, that this one when you push it, okay, I'm just doing it upside down. Normally, this is how I punch, my friends, so I want to see what is being punched. Okay, and there you go. So you have like a tab, okay, that you can put onto your planners or your projects, or if you or this one can be a notch on like say a pocket or something, right? So punchers, okay, this is called a thumb notch, and punchers come in different colors, size, shape, right, what have you. So whatever you could actually do with your dies, right? So you could actually do with punchers, okay? So they're amazing. Well, one thing though that is hard with punchers, and I don't know if you agree with me, my dear friends, is that they're hard to store, right? Compared to our dies right now, right? So the dies before used to be like very big also and bulky, but then they came up with the thin wafer dies, right? So they're very easy to store, right? Very thin, and it's even easy to carry around. Okay, these ones are kind of hard, especially like different manufacturers make them in different shape and size and form, right? So if you have like a lot of them, so your next problem would have been, how do I store them? Right? So there's several crafters that I know who have also quite a stash of this. So some of them, they actually created, like bars, okay? Like the ones you have like towel hangers. And then they would hang some of these on those like that, okay? On the wall. Okay, so probably something like what we have like here at the back. Right? So something like that. And then some like me, okay, did it in containers like this. Okay, so I have clear containers, and then the ones that I normally use often, I put in something like this, and I put them in my Alex drawers, right? So my go-to dies are, punchers. Wait a minute, it's making me crazy because it's not straight. Okay, let's straighten this one. All right, so these are my go-to ones. Of course, I need always a corner rounder. Okay, so this is from PF Crafts. This is from We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, and this one is, it creates this like very, very cute small flowers. Okay, so again, if you are into planners and stuff, right? So it can create something like that. And then, of course, the punched out item, if you like paper piecing, right? So punchers are perfect for that. I actually even have books about, paper piecing, right? So that's what you used to call it before. All right. So this one, you saw me how we do it. And then you also have this one. Okay. So you can like create, what do you call this? So that you can protect this one, right? So your when you have planners and you have like 3-ring binders to protect what do you call that, the circles, the holes, right? So they won't, you can what do you call this? I forgot. Anyways, right? And then of course the basic shapes. Of course, I have built up my, I have a half circle, a 3/4 circle, an inch circle, right? So because these are, and normally what I would do before is I would cut or punch them ahead of time. And so I can have like a paper buffet, where when they say paper buffet, imagine a buffet, right? But instead of food or various chocolate or what have you, it's different punched, elements or images onto your containers, right? And then I have another one, okay, here. Okay, so this is tab. So normally I like this one because so that's why I have it here. Okay, because this I use for my planners, right? So you can create, tabs. Okay, so I love using, creating tabs. So you don't even need to buy, tab pattern papers, because whatever you have, maybe your scraps, right? So you can create different kinds of tabs from, this puncher. Another one, okay, so you can create this one. Okay, so like a tag, okay, with a fishtail. All right, so there. Okay, so you can do it like that, or like I mentioned, normally I would turn it around so I could see, right? So if you have a paper and you don't want to waste the paper, okay, so I want to make sure that I put it at the edge like so. Okay, and then so you can see I actually used up, very as little waste or scrap as I can. Actually, this is a little bit wonky. It should have been so there you go. So I have different shapes. Okay, and then there are punchers that could actually do something like this. All right, so this is from PF Crafts. So I could create, let's say you have a half 2.5 inches. Okay, so it is perfectly coordinated with this one. Let me see if I can cut. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me just put my monitor over there. I see somebody, a dear friend of mine in the chat. Okay, is that Crafterny Charlene in the chat? Oh, Christine. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this one is says it's a 2.5. You have a 1.5 and a 2-inch one. Okay, I'll show you how I actually use that. So let's cut the 2.5. Okay, from my very, very tiny. Okay, so you have a 2.5. Okay, and let's do a 1.5 inch. And I'll show you how we can create tags instantly with this puncher. And then, of course, we have the 2-inch tag. So this is like a multi-purpose or multi-use puncher. That's why I like it so much. All right, so let's start with, okay, this one, if you can see. All right, so it goes with the this is the 2-inch. Okay, and then my 2.5 inch, if you could see, he perfectly fits that one. And if you have like an 1.5 inches, that one. So what happens? All right, and then I punch it. Look at that, and look at that. There is a like perforation, right? It's so pretty, very elegant. There's an embossing on the hole. So this one is a 2.5. and this is the 2-inch one. So again, punchers are very useful and easy to use. Okay, let's just clear this thing out, right? So these are the ones that are actually always near me. So they are stored near drawers on my Alex drawers beside me. Okay, but before that, let's go back to the chat and check out who is here right now. Christine, hi Teen, nice to meet you. Yes, Teen was actually a blessing. I met her earlier. We did have like a fellowship brunch with other ladies in our discipleship area group. Okay, of course, thank you so much, Auntie Diona, and of course what do you call this, to all the people who are behind that event. Thank you so much. Of course, our group leader Emily for inviting us over as well. All right, of course, Joy. Okay, I'll show you something. So Tin and I and some other ladies who attended. Okay, so we did not only like attend. All right, so we also were given like something to craft with. And look at the word. It's abide. ABIDE. Right? So while waiting for others to arrive, we were given this to come up with our own design of bracelet. So it came with different colors and different shapes. Okay, but everybody had the word abide in it, right? So, and it's perfect for my actual bracelet, right? So, and Tin was there and I met her, and she's also a crafter. So say hi to Tin, my friends. All right, there you go. Okay, whoops. Let me go back to the other scene. Okay, so Dinky said, I was gifted a kitty-shaped metal puncher. Wow, that is a, what do you call this? Collector's item, my friend, but it's become very dull. Is there any? Okay, perfect question. All right. Most of the time, you can actually punch, okay, it through foil, aluminum foil. And if you have very, very fine, what do you call that? Sandpaper, not the very thick one, the very gritty one, the very fine, okay, that helps. But sometimes if the puncher has been misaligned and then you force it, it doesn't really align anymore. Okay, that's the different thing. But if it's just dull, you can, punch through it. Okay, so let's say, for example, this is your, you cut through several aluminum foils, right? So until eventually, it becomes, okay, sharper. That's like so, right? So, or if you have, again, very thin, okay, and very fine sandpaper, that helps. I will show you some of my punchers where, sad to say, it really cannot be helped anymore, right? So that's the thing, though. There are some punchers where if you use a paper that's too thick, right, and you force it, it can actually break as well, especially those who have very intricate designs. And I'll show you that in a little bit. All right. Okay, so let's just go back to the chat a bit. Okay, reinforce. There you go. Reinforce hole punch. Okay, so this is it. Thank you so much, Vess. Brain fog. You know how it is. Yes, this one, right? So this one. All right. So reinforcer, hole reinforcer. Thank you so much, Vess, for helping me out. All right, and Jaden too. Hi, Dean. Howdy. Good morning to you. And of course, Caroline. Good morning, my friend. Hope everything is well. Okay, and of course, Yvette. Oh my goodness, friends. I just woke up. Gotta get ready for the day, but I'll be lurking while I'll do that. Thank you so much, Yvette. And I hope that, again, it's the start of the Friday weekend. So I hope everything is well. All right. So with that, let's continue on, my dear friends. Okay. So again, I like this. This is, again, one of my staple punchers. So if you can see, okay, so which one is better, Lala? The ones that you actually do like this, press on. Okay, I find that this is better for me. Okay, but there are those who prefer something like you put on a table or a hard surface and then you push like so. Okay, so it's absolutely up to you. But I'm at that age where I really have arthritic hands, and sometimes I don't have the, what do you call that, the power or the force to actually punch anything, especially if the paper is thick. But there is actually a puncher helper by Carl. So it looks like a lever. So imagine this one, right? So it's so small to hold. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it inside, and then the lever is longer, so it's easier for you to punch it through. So there's bigger force, right? So I'm not sure though where you can find it. Okay, maybe Tin, all right, would be able to give us an idea, because she actually is also a crafty supplier here in the Philippines. Okay, Caroline said, I like those as well. I have weak hands, right? So I feel that for those who have weaker hands, so something like this is easier, right? Because it's just like holding scissors rather than pushing through like that, right? Especially if you have shoulder issues, right? So it's gonna be an issue. Another kind of punchers, okay, are this ones. Okay, this is from We Are Memory Keepers. So this one, what it does is it gives you, amazing borders, right? So if you want to round your corners like so that would give you a 3/8 inch. Okay, this one would give you a 1/8 of an inch, okay, border. Okay, so very, very tiny, what do you call that? Roundedness, so to speak, right? And then it also comes in, the 1/2 inch and the, 1/4 of an inch. So it depends. That's why I actually invested on this. These are very, very old friends. Probably as old as my daughter. So I've had this for quite a while. The only thing though, and then if you're done with it, and then if there's too much paper, all you need to do is flip the top, okay, and then everything inside you just do like that, and all the papers inside, okay, would be released, so you can punch again, all right, and to what do you call, right? So it can also be not just to corner or to round corners. It can also give you like awesome corners. Like for example, this one would give you a photo corner, and this one would give you an angled one. Okay, something like this. Okay, let me just give this. So the one I'm punching right now, this is actually a 300 GSM paper. So it's actually quite thick, my friends. See? You have like a photo corner border, right? So if you want to use that for your card or your scrapbook, that would be great. And this one's angled one. Okay, so it gives you that angled kind of look, right? So they're very handy. I could easily like stash it in my craft bag and you're good to go. It's kind of heavy though. And of course, I have this ones that would give me. You saw me do like bigger circles a while ago, right? This one can actually just give you like super tiny hole like that, right? So if you want to put brads or eyelets, they're very, very small, and it's very good. This one can go through very, very thick paper. Amazing, right? And then later on, We Are Memory Keepers came up with this like all-in-one, right? So you saw that I have one that is for like 1 inch. What's that? Okay, where are my circle? Okay, probably it's over there. I will. Okay, here. Okay, if you can see, I have this circular punchers. Okay, this one is from American Crafts, I think. Oh, We Are, right? So I have a 1.5, right? So what you will do is, okay, so you imagine for just one shape. Okay, so one shape is, one puncher. So again, storage, and it's a little bit expensive if you add it all up, right? But it's very heavy duty. It's lasted me for a long time. So you have a 1/2 inch, and then you have this one, which is, an 1/8 of an inch. Okay, where is it? Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so there you go, right? But then We Are Memory Keepers came up with, a thing called like this, right? So you can actually do different shapes, or I mean different sizes. So you have 1/16, 1/8 circle, 3/16, 1/4, and 5/16. Not as big as those, but if you want those smaller ones, okay, so especially for those who are doing planners, right? So you want to create your own, let's say, binding or something, right? So you can create that. And this is 1/4, right? And this is 3/16, So it's amazing what, punchers can do. Okay. But then again, another thing that is, you know, what do you call this? Limitation for the punchers are because they do have like an edge. So let's say you have a very big paper and you want to punch the hole or the shape onto like the middle of the paper. You cannot, because this can only go up to a certain point, right? So, but with dies, okay, you can put it anywhere, but then you also need to have like, depending on how big your paper is, right? So your die cutting machine should also more or less have the ability to be able to cut through those sizes. All right, so there you go. And then of course you have those punchers that can actually create holes, not just holes, but actually also use us to close eyelets, right? So it's called an eyelet setter as well. So this is actually a crocodile. Okay, and it comes in different colors depending on when you bought it, and there's a bigger one as well, right? So again, these are the most common, okay, punchers that I have, right? So we'll just move it to the side. So we'll go through another set of different kinds of punchers. Okay, so let's just put here. Sorry, I'm just putting them on the floor right now so I can have a space at my table. All right. Okay. So for those who are into planners, okay, again, okay, so this is how I store my little, okay, so and then I can actually what do you call that? Layer it. It's stackable, right? So it can fit into my Alex drawer beside me, right? So this one, it contains again some of my different. So I have this one is a circle, but it's scallop. So I have them in various sizes. So this is 1.5. This is 5/8, right? So this is 1 3/4, and so on and so forth, right? Again, they come in different sizes and shapes, so storage is kind of difficult, right? But the ones that are really something that I use all the time, okay, for cards, for planners, I put them in something like this stackable container so I can easily get it, okay, on from the drawer beside me. All right. And then again, for those who are into planners, your happy planners, right? So we love buying like stickers and stuff so that it will fit, right? So what if you have like, let's say, scrap? Okay, I'll show you. Okay, so sometimes when you have happy planners, we have this awesome stickers, right? So you can see that they come in like that, right? So, okay, so instead of buying stickers, maybe you have a pattern paper that you actually want to use. Okay, so what you do, okay, so I do have two kinds of punchers. Okay, so this is for the classic happy planner, and this is for the large happy planner. So it fits perfectly. Okay, the vertical, okay, not the horizontal, but the vertical, because I like the happy planner vertical planners. So what I do is I just put it like so, okay, and then I'll punch. Okay, so now let's say this is the paper that I want to use, so I don't need to buy, right? So, and it will coordinate with the rest of my my design. Okay, so for this is the big happy planner. Okay, so I like the punchers because they're very functional, very useful. It would save me, okay, like a ton of money if I, instead of buying sticker books, right, I can make my own, right? So there you go. And these are perfect for actual happy planners. So maybe what I would do as an application of today's episode, tomorrow we'll probably do a planner layout. Okay, so that, and several cards to actually use, the punchers that we have right now. All right. So let me just go back to the chat a bit. Okay, and we have Blossom. Good morning, and chatting pals from Blossom. Probably she's at the office. So how do you store your punchers? Okay, so again, as I mentioned, because they come in various shapes and sizes, right? So if before I tried to put them on the wall, okay, so do you see my Okay, hold on. Let me just change my audio so I can move. All right. So you see this rod, okay? But this one is not a very sturdy rod. So what I would do is I would grab some of these and would hang them onto those, okay? But then again, as I said, this actually would eat up a ton of space. So, and then of course the dust is an issue, right? So eventually I decided that I would rather, have them in like this ones, okay? Container bins like this that are stackable. Okay, and then I have what do you call that? A cabinet, okay, that is like several layers. So I think it occupies 2 to 3 layers, okay, of that cabinet, okay? And then of course the ones that I often use, okay, I put them in containers like this. Okay, and the ones that have like overlapping, like this has to go on the top. Okay, the ones that are flat, okay, like this, okay, so they will be the one underneath because I can put it like that and it's stackable. All right, so you have to go through your stash and check which is, your most common used ones. All right, so now that you've seen my most common ones, I do have, look at this. They're big. Look at my hand. That's how big this one is. So imagine if you want to create like bigger ones, right? So these are hard to store. So I think maybe just 3 or 4 or 5 of this would fill up one cabinet already or one drawer. So again, storage is, a bit of an issue. Look at that. This one can do, I think, 3 inches, right? So if you want like a 3-inch scallop circle, okay. Oh, sorry about the sound. Okay. So look at that. This is again a 300 GSM, okay, paper. So when you're going to punch, it's hard to punch very thin paper, and of course those that have very or a lot of fiber. Okay, so normally clean, smooth paper is best for, punchers as well. So I have also like this. So with this, again, I just store them in drawers. Okay, I used to store them outside as well, like on spice trays. I've gone through so many different ways of storing my punchers, but eventually I hated that they get, dusty. And also I have this cabinet. If you would go through my some of my videos of my craft room tour in the past, you would see where and how I actually store this. All right, so I do have several, not a lot, several of this. All right. And then, of course, if you are into Project Life, right? So, of course, Project Life also has this inserts, right? And then you can put it in. So, I also bought the card punch. This is the one that's perfect for the 3/4 inch, right? So, you can just put your paper. Oh, it's locked. Okay. So, you will just unlock. Okay, like so, you'll glide it. See, I told you, you have to press a little bit. Okay, and then unlock. See, there's lock, unlock. Okay, and then it will open up like that. All right, and then you will just, okay, you will just put your, where is it? Okay, hold on. Okay, oh, I think this is broken. Ah, there. Okay, so this one, okay, it's magnetic. You pull it like so. Okay, you put it inside. Okay, and then since there's a magnet, it would actually lock onto itself. And all you need to do is to push. But this is a 300 GSM, and this is just IKEA table. It's not solid underneath. So I cannot, because I might break my table, right? But anyways, so you just push it and then it will come out. Okay, so you can actually remove like that or just lift the door like so, right? So again, for my planners, if I can find a puncher that could cut like the same size as the sizes for the planner, so I can create my own out of papers or ephemera, so I don't need to buy planner stickers and all of those things, because this is of course reusable, right? Unlike the stickers and other things that we buy for our planners, this can, you can use again and again and again. Okay, so you'll just see, I told you I don't have power. Anyway, I'll just do that later. Okay, again. Okay, so if you are into planners again, right? So you want to create your own. So let's say you have an A4 size planner, or you have a B5 or something, but you want to use a specific, design of a paper, right? So hold on, let me just get some. All right, for example, this one. Okay, so there are two sizes again. Okay, so just like the puncher for the insert. Okay, so they match. This is for the this is for the big one. Okay, and this is for the classic. Okay, so this is for the spine. Okay, so it will give you. Okay, so there is a place where you're supposed to put this one. Okay, and then this punch. Okay, now you have created your own insert for your happy planner, right? So let's say maybe you have a specific size you want that's not available outside. You want to make your own, right? So you can do it like so, right? So, and of course, there's for the bigger one. Okay, it has more. Okay, and then it will tell you how many sheets of paper you can actually put at a time. Okay, so otherwise it will break. Okay, so like so. See? All right, so this is for the one that's longer. Let's say you have an A4 or a letter size. So there you go. Okay, so if you can see, normally I make sure that the punchers or the ones I buy are things that help me. Okay, not just one time, but several projects. Like this one's, I do a lot of happy planner, right? So I make sure that, these are very, very useful as well for using up your scraps. So I have that. And then, okay, so before I actually got this, my friends, okay, I use we are the punch boards. Okay, I know you've probably heard of punch boards. So has anybody not heard of a punch board? Okay, so for my punch boards, this is how I store them. Okay, if you can look at that one, right? But this is not acrylic block. That I repurpose that. Okay, so it lays like this, right? So it's on top of the other. So this is the actual punch board, right? So the thing with this one, with this puncher, is that it would actually, even if it's thicker paper, you can, punch through it. This one, I find that, let's say, because these ones are the letters, but there are inserts that is actually for what do you call this, punching. Like this one, if you want like a mushroom on a border on the cut. Okay, so you would just put it on the puncher, where you want it. So there's a centering area. Okay, so you just put it like so. Okay, and then get the other one. Okay, so it's color coordinated anyway. So normally you do 3 at a time. Okay, and then you'll just cut through another again. Okay, I'll tell you a scary and funny story all at the same time. Okay, so let's put this one in the middle. Okay, so what I did, my friends, okay, so I wanted to like cut through several papers at the same time, because I want it to be fast. I broke my first set. It got stuck and it never released, because you're not supposed to cut like more than 3 or 4, right? If possible, just one at a time, especially if like what you're using is what I'm using, like it's 300 GSM, right? So again, if you want to do something like that, I suggest that you get something like this one. Okay, this kind of puncher for your happy planners, because this one is not meant to cut very, very thick paper. So something like that. Okay, so there is like a hole there, or a slit. You put it there. Okay, so and then you push it in like so, and then you'll just close this one and push. Okay, and then you will have your cuts already. So 3 at a time, and then you gotta move, right? So unlike with this Just one punch and you're done. Okay, so again, there are certain uses for this, and then they come up with not just, to punch and create, you know, this for your planners, but they actually created like alphabet, so you can create words like punch out, let's say, my name, Lala, right? So or Dinky, right? So you just put like the words. Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, so normally when I store it, I put it together like so that it's easy to store. But now I don't know why I cannot push it out. It's hard. Again, as I told you, I have no force. Okay, oh, there you go. So I have to. Okay, so let's say cat. Okay, it's K-A-A-T. Okay, cat. Okay, so and then I want to put that, okay, onto the name, okay, onto this card. Okay, so I'll put it in, and then I put that, and I'll cut it through, and there you see, I have my word cat. Okay, so it can create words, right? So this, we are memory keepers, and then you also have the actual letters that have been punched out. Okay, so you have the positive and you also have the negative. So whatever, this can actually become a stencil as well, right? So there are many amazing things you can do with this, right? So this is how I store it, as I said. So I just put them together like so, because there's like that thing on the edge, and then you can slide it through and just connect, and then until it adds up to this one. Okay, and then I will just put it like so, right? And there, it's so easy to store. Okay, so I like that. It's easy to store, it's easy to use. The only downside of this one is that, again, you cannot use thick paper. Okay, I actually destroyed my very first, okay, this one, because you see, I have two, because this is the planner punch board, where you actually get this one plus the different holes, different kinds of holes. This one is the word punch, where you actually get the letters as well. All right, so basically it's the same thing, it's just that the inserts, the puncher inserts are different. Okay, and this is for a different product. All right, so let's go through, okay, a different one. Okay, so again, these are additionals. Okay, remember you saw that I had that, right? Okay, and then you also have something like this. Instead of one at a time, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you also have like the square one or the rectangular ones for the sides of your planner. So you can, or this one is circular but bigger. So this is for the planner punch board, and these are the word. Okay, so for the different words, right? So I have two of that. Okay, or two containers for that one, and then I will just stack them on top of other. All right, so my table is so okay. Let me see. Let's fix it. There you go. That looks better. It's like it's so dirty. All right, let's go through that like that. All right. Okay. So let's go to the chat again just now. Okay, I have weekends, yes. Okay, Blossom was this one. Hey, and good afternoon to you, my dear friend. True, there are some punchers for specific papers. Yes, especially if your papers are fibrous or has a lot of fiber or handmade. It's actually very hard to use the We Are Memory Keepers punch boards, right? So the ones that are actually kind of heavier duty, that ones are best. Okay, so let's go to the stack of punchers I have over here. But before I move, can you hear me, my friends? Are you able to hear me? Okay, so I hope so. All right, so let's go through. Okay, probably, let me see. Okay, so let's go through this one first. Okay, so these are some of my very, very old punchers. Okay, these are Martha Stewart. As you know, Martha Stewart has discontinued her crafting line,
but actually I like their scoring tool. Okay, for me, I feel that they are better even than the my score pal. Okay, but then they discontinued it. It's just a good thing that I have like several of those so that I still have them. But these are my collection of what do you call this? Uh, Martha Stewart. Okay. The thing I like about Martha Stewart is if you are into like very intricate things, right? So look at that. It opens up like that. Okay, so I'll get one, okay, so that I can show you. So it's just that look at the design. So for storage purposes, oops, like that. So for storage purposes, it's nice because you can actually close it like so, right? And then do like that. Okay, so either like this or like that. But normally when I store it in the drawer, it looks like that, right? So this is just temporary so I can show you, but in the drawer, it goes like that. Okay, so again, this one is a border. Okay, so this one is a border punch. So you open it like that and then you cut. Okay, so let's try to, okay, use some of these, all right? So let's go back to my table, okay, and try to use up, okay, this Martha Stewart.
Once. All right. Okay, hold on. Let's just move my iPad over here. All right. So again, it looks like this, right? So when you store it, you close it. And it can be stored like that on its side or vertical like that, right? So when I store them by manufacturers because they normally have like the same shape and configuration, right? So what do I do? Okay, so to punch with this one, let's say you have an A4. Okay, hold on, let me just get, let's say this one. All right, so how do you use this puncher? Okay, okay, so you put it in, okay, and then you punch. Okay, ah, it's too thick. Okay, because this is a 300G. See, it won't go through because my hand is very weak. So I need to find something that's not too thick. So probably let's go through this one. This one is like vellum paper. Let's see. Okay, but this is kind of too flimsy and on the other side. But let's see. Okay, so we put it like so. This is, I think, A4. And then you push. Okay, and then, okay. See? All right, so sometimes there are stuck paper like that. Okay, so it's hard to, this is one of the, what do you call that? Okay, one of the issues with punchers. So when papers get stuck like that, okay, so you go grab your tweezers, okay, like so. Okay, but this is a very bad tweezer. Let me get a new one. Excuse me. Actually, I think hopefully I am not coming down with. Okay. What is happening with this? Maybe a poke tool. All right, there you go. See, because this is a very intricate design, right? The design is very intricate. Okay, let me see. It won't go through. It won't go out. So, there you go. You see how intricate the design is? But since I went through it several times and this got snagged, right? So that's not a good. Okay. So again, there are some punchers that can do that. All right. So this is what it looks like. All right. Sometimes your punchers will catch and then they won't move anymore. Again, my issue is that I have very weak hands. All right. So that's why if they're very intricate, all right, so it's actually hard. Okay. So let's go through this again. Let's try if it's the die or is it just me. Okay. So again, okay, that one is still catching. I cannot move it. See? When there's something that is, not fully cut, then it will catch. right? But anyway, assuming, okay, let me just clean this. All right, so assuming that I actually did a great, very finished cut, so I can actually clean it up a little. All right, so let's pretend that this is, because it's very intricate, right? All right, so how do I do the rest? Okay, so this is the same for whatever puncher you have, okay? The technique and the concept is the same. So just go through the side, okay? And when you put whatever you have punched, it has to coincide with the image. Okay, let me go up, right? So you will find, okay, that perfect alignment. And when you actually have found it, like there, it looks exactly and aligned with the image onto the side, then it's time for you. That's your, what do you call it? Clue that you can actually punch again. Okay, but then again, I think this one catch. See? That part. Okay, so this is not a very good puncher anymore. Okay, but the concept is the same, my friends. All right, there you go. This is an example of what I was telling you, that sometimes they won't go down anymore. Okay, look. Okay, so with that one, I really need to like go to the floor and then bang, like that. Right? So for it, okay, so you see now it got removed. I can remove it. So sometimes when it gets stuck like that, okay, you go to the floor and then you just right, and then it will release itself. Right? So okay, just don't mind the upper, okay, the upper part, because it was, getting snagged. Okay, assume that I have a very, very, what do you call that? Very sharp punchers still. Okay, so perfect. So you see that I was able to create, okay, this one. And then, all right, so you can still, just continue on. Again, just look for, the design, okay, that until it's aligned, and then you punch again. All right, so this time around, I think it's better. So there you go. Until you are able to come up with your perfect design. Okay, so this one, the tops are an issue. Again, it's because the puncher is kind of no longer sharp, and at, of course, the same time, I'm using very flimsy paper. Okay, it would be nice, and this one is too thick. This one is too. Okay, so maybe let's look for there's a regular paper. Okay, let's use some mint-high paper. Okay, so let's try a different design. Okay, how about this one? So I like the Martha Stewart ones because, like this one, look at the design. It's like a ribbon, right? And this one's the same. Okay, so hopefully this one is still working perfectly. Ah, okay. Did you see? So perfect, right? Okay, and then again, okay, all you need to do is, so you don't need a very, very long border punch, right? So, and then when you store it, it's just like that, okay? But to actually create that as long as you want, okay, just, okay, whatever you have punched, go through the side to the left and look, okay, at the point where it would actually match, okay, perfectly, okay, with the design, right? Until you see that perfect alignment. Okay, and then now just hold on to that so it doesn't move and punch again. Okay, there you go. Okay, and then now we go to the right. Okay, the same thing, just align. Okay, and then punch. And then you have your border punched paper. How beautiful is that? Right? That coordinates with exactly what you're working with. Right? So that's why I really love this very intricate border dies, So for scrapbooking back then, this was such a thing, right? So I had that, I had this, but as I said, the more intricate the design, the harder it is to punch in a way because it is more difficult for it because of the many like intricate designs, so paper can get snug like so, right? So okay, so let's go back to
this one. Okay, so these are the Martha Stewart. So if you can see, it comes in different sizes. So these are longer borders. These are also border punch, but they're, you know, smaller. Okay, and then you can also have corners. Okay, like this one, corner. Okay, so let's go through some corners, and then you have also one that looks like an owl. Okay, so let's go through here.
all right. So again, these are, you know, punchers still. So these are no longer border punchers. Okay, so these are, oh, they're very dirty. Okay, I'll show you how dirty they are. Okay, once I wipe this, okay, you will see the difference. Right, so it's like night and day. Okay, although it's been stored, right, so it's quite dirty, so I just want to clean it. Okay, a little bit. Okay, all right. Okay, so with that, okay, so what we do is you see, that is the one that you are going to, okay, get. Okay, so for example, okay, so this is the corner that you want. Okay, so and then you will just punch like so. Okay, again. Okay, so see, oh, it got stuck again because this is okay. So sometimes you just need to wobble a little. So there you go. You have that very intricate, very beautiful and elegant border. Or if you want this kind of border, okay, the same thing, right? So in my case, I normally go through that, and so I can see where I want to, you know, put it. Okay, once I'm okay with that, and then I just punch. Okay, and then there you go. Right? So you can have that amazing corner on your card projects or your scrapbook or your photos or whatever it is. Right? All right. So let me go back to the chat and read off some of your comments, my friends. Okay. And Wims is in the house. Hello, hello, Wims. Oh, what's the food? Okay. People are talking about food. And Susan is doing laundry, so it's laundry day today.
Eh? Right. So, oh, Blossom's not working today. I am cooking a stock pot of homemade chicken. Blossom, you and your food and your drawings. Oh, it's making me wanna, you know, making me hungry, as well as cleaning and doing my chores. Awesome! Multitasker in the house. Yes, that sounds yummy, right? Today's soup is for my husband. Tonight, I'm roasting a turkey so I can make myself a stock pot of turkey soup tomorrow, which is my favorite. I don't think I've ever had that one just yet. Okay, a turkey stock pot. I've never, or a turkey soup. I've never have tried that. So Susan said, for the punches that you got super jammed with too much paper, could you try dampening them to loosen their fibers, then kind of rip them out? Paper was ruined anyway from getting jammed. I've never tried like moistening them, but what I normally do is I will just bang, right? But that can actually damage as well. Oh, this one is actually, oh, okay, I show you.
Okay, but that is great, right? Because it makes sense, right? So if the fibers get or is loosened and softens, then it's easier to actually pull it out, right? So this one, although it's a punch, it's actually an embosser. Okay, so embossing, you know, metal. Okay, this is an embossing puncher. Okay, and this one is an owl. You know, I can relate to an owl because if you have not noticed, I have very big eyes, right? So when I was young, my dad would call me like I was an owl. Okay, so if you can see, it punches the owl and it also embosses the image of the owl. It's too bright. There you go. But it didn't cut through perfectly. Again, this is the 300 GSM one. But so this is a puncher and an embosser at the same time. All right. But I never really liked this as much. So I actually just have one because it's an owl. Right.
So let's go back, okay, to this one. So these are all my, whoops. Okay, I actually, okay, stepped on my lights. Okay, let me see. Open the legs of my lights. All right, there you go. Okay, so just put it there. And this one is another puncher. Again, the same concept. Okay, so the same concept, right? So after you've punched the paper, you just move it, move it. But this one is a different brand. This is the Paper Studio. Okay, so this is a brand for the Paper Studio. And I have like that design and then this design. All right, so let's move on to my next set of punchers. Yes, I did love punchers. Okay, not that's too much. Okay, and then let's move like that, and zoom in like so. Okay, hold on. Okay. So this ones, my friend, are my EK Success collection. If you can see, I have quite a collection of the EK Success. I like them in the sense that they're not too bulky, and then they also are easy to store because you can stack it like that, right? So it's easier. And then if you want to open, okay, I'll show you. Okay, I'll just grab some. Okay, let me see. All right, so the ones that are not already in the packaging, so because I normally use this a lot, the others normally I don't use a lot, but I've used them many times in the past. Okay.
So what I do is, okay, so if you're going to store them, okay, you just lock it. Okay, just close it and lock. Okay, and then you can store like that. They're stackable. And the nice thing about them as well is that they have like stickers in front that will show you what is the design of the punch. Okay, again, these are border punchers. Okay, so again, they're border. Okay, so like say this one. This one can create like that image, right? So let's use the same one. Okay, as I told you, no matter what the brand is, the concept is always the same for border punchers, right? Okay, and then you just move it, okay, and then find, okay, the perfect, okay, there you go. It's already aligned. So I can punch again, like so. All right. Okay, and then onto the other side, the same thing until you find, the perfect. Okay, this one. Okay, there you go. And then I punch. Okay, so that's my this one. Okay, how about this one? This one would look like this one is like ripped paper, notebook. This one would look like stamp. Okay, I'll show you. That's why these ones are the ones that I normally really like. So I don't return them anymore to their okay what do you call that, to their packaging, because I use them often. Okay, I will just align. Okay, and then I will cut. So if you can see, right? So it has that look of like the edge of a stamp. Okay. So I like this border punches. So for scrapbooking, we do a lot of borders and stuff. So these punchers were really very, very useful, right? So let's try to use the last one, okay, which is that looks like that of a notebook. So we can still use this for our planner, if you can see. And this one, right? And then this one, right? So let's use this one. Okay, so again, these are from EK Success. Okay. Oh, why is it not closing anymore? Oh, I think this one's broken. Finally. Oh, there you go. Okay, it doesn't want to close. All right, so let's say this one. This one is that of a like notebook. Okay, so again, normally I start with the middle. Okay, and then I just move left and right. Okay, look. Okay, so like it's like what we do with our planners, right? Okay, there you go. That one was not too perfect. Okay. Oh, I missed that part. Okay. There you go. Right? so, and then we'll cut so that it can be like a border for two different planners. There you go. So these are the border punchers. Okay, so have you tried using border punchers in the past?
Okay, let me see. Let's go back to the chat again. Okay. Okay, so we eat from the pot the day it is cooked, and I freeze the and can the rest by portions for later meals. So yes, we do have some food like that here in the Philippines. It's like as it stays a little bit longer, it becomes more delicious, like adobo. I don't know if you've heard of adobo. Right? So the more that you let it be, it's like it's tastier on the second or the third day, something like that, right? So probably that's the same thing. Hi, Wims from Susan, and okay, Wims saying hi to everyone. Of course not. I'm just going through again, right? The stash as usual. Okay, I'm no professional. I just love food. Yeah, and you love awesome food. I like that daisy looking punch, right? It's this one, right? It's very dainty, right? That's from Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart had a lot of amazing products actually. I was sad when it actually closed its, crafting section because their products were really nice. Oh, thank you so much, Sammy, for reminding us. And started about 9. She's showing the really cool punches now. I'm ready for the day now. Thank you, Yvette. Have a great rest of the day and enjoy family time. I know that for Yvette, weekends are always family time, right? With the kids and the grandkids. And Blossom said, I love punches. I don't have near enough. You don't need to, right? Again, as I said, you don't need to. Okay, I just have that mindset that somehow I need to complete whatever it is. Okay, which is actually not right. Right, it's pretty. I only have 2 Martha Stewart punches I got from a D-stash. If you find more Wims, go grab them because they are amazing. Okay, more than EK. They're better quality, nicer. It's just that most of the designs are kind of intricate, so it has that tendency to snag, but you just be very diligent and very careful with it. Just try to look for the perfect paper, okay, and you will have amazing, punched out borders or images. I think I would play with them too for tonight. Go, Wims! The theme for her party is Taco Tuesday. Oh, that's cute! Okay, when is this party? Hold on. Did I miss it, Yvette? Where is this? Oh, here. Now I am working on designing a shirt for my granddaughter's 2nd birthday. Oh, that is so cool, Taco Tuesday. When is this gonna happen, Yvette? Is it gonna be like this coming September? Exactly, right? It already sounds amazing. By the way, I actually saw a notification earlier on. I think Caroline had, I'm not sure if it was an edited video or if it was a live stream, but she did have a new video up. So if you've not checked that out, please do so. My dear friend creates amazing, amazing content. How cute, Yvette. I love that thing. Maybe I could use that next year when my daughter turns 2. Exactly, right? Taco Tuesday. Awesome. The pun itself as well. Cool. I've never seen embossing punch. I love that those edge ship ones and the corner punches you have. I've just got the regular small circle hole punch and one tiny sunshine. Right? So awesome. As long as, as I said, I've now that I'm, wiser, right? So I don't I am not going to judge anyone if they want to buy as little or as many as they want of whatever they want for their craft room or their crafting.
All right. I think my mic, my lapel died on me. No worries because I have a backup. Because when I move away from my table, okay, the audio actually is gone. Okay, there you go.
So I'm back.
All right. Okay, I hope I'm back. All right. Thank you, Susan. You always, always reminds me, no sound. You're muted. Okay, I have something for Susan. Okay. I think I should actually give this to Susan or Wims. Because they're the ones who would always tell me, or Yvette, you're muted. You're muted. You're on mute. Right? So that actually happens all the time. See, and she would do this so that it'll get my attention. Thank you so much, Susan. Oh, I'm so sorry, friends. Yes, I hear you now. Yes. Okay. So what happened was I do change my audio source, depends on where I am. So when I'm moving, my audio source will go to my lapel. When I'm on my desk, it is this one. It just so happened that was from yesterday and I forgot to charge. So I do have another one, a backup. All right. Okay. Oh, Tin is still here. Thank you so much, Tin. All right. We hear you. We need a button to sound an alarm. Yes, because sometimes, right, my moderator daughter is not very active as well, so she cannot. And then because she's multitasking most of the time, and then more often than not, I'm actually also very busy doing all these crazy things. Okay, behind the scenes. All right, so let's go back to over there. Okay, so let's
See if my mic is working. All right. So again, these are all my EK Success Punch. Okay, so they also have smaller ones, right? So like this one, I don't know if you can see properly. This is like a wine glass. Okay, and then you have like, what do you call that? Like moon and stars, right? I even have like an airplane, right? But these are embossed die cuts, right? So I have only very few of that, maybe just 5. I have slippers for summer, right? So, and then most of them are already border punchers. Okay, so this one you can actually create like a flower, okay, like that. Okay, you can punch it out as many as you want and then turn them into a flower like that. It's very pretty. Okay, maybe I should make one for Caroline. Okay, okay. I'm just thinking of how I'm gonna send Caroline. I made her this, DIY treasure chest for her birthday. Hopefully, I was supposed to bring it during Creator Camp, but I'm not sure if I can go. So this is like a leaf. Oh, this is perfect for fall. Let's check this one out. You know what? Let's check this one out,
friends. All right. So again, this is a large edge punch. See, look at the difference. This is the regular edge puncher for EK. This is the large one. And I think it's perfect for fall. Let's just try it out for size, friends, and see what it would look like. Okay. So let's try this one. Okay. Okay, so that's what you get. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Right? So maybe if you have fall theme papers, okay, and then you just look for where it will match again. Okay, and then just cut again, like so. Okay, and then you'll have your all leaf edge. My gosh, how old are these punchers, my friends? They're more than, oh, definitely more than 2 decades. Maybe 2 to 3 decades. Look at that. Beautiful. Perfect for like Halloween and fall, right? So, yeah, this might actually not go back to the drawer because I might actually use it for some of my DT work. All right. So there you go. So when I'm using it all the time, so I don't store them in stuff like that. But since this is gonna be just a seasonal one, I'll probably still put it in. Okay, so again, the reason I like EK success punchers, that's why I have a lot of them, is because they're easy to store. Again, I said they can, stackable. Like not like that's the sad thing about the Martha Stewart one. All right.
So let's go back. Okay. So again, those are my EK success. And then we do have some Fiskars. Okay, let me just grab this Fiskars. All right. Okay. Oh, I hope it won't fall. Oh my goodness. Come on, Lala, you can do this. It's so heavy, friends. Okay, let's just put them on the table and go through it a little bit.
All right. So these are the Fiskars. Oh my gosh, they're so dirty. Okay. So just like the Martha Stewart, right? So they have like designs like this as well. Very, very nice. Okay, this is scallop edge border. This one is scallop with a. The only thing I don't like though about Fiskars punchers is that you see this is the one. Okay, this tiny thing pushes that one. Okay, that will push that die, and then you are able to cut, okay, or punch, okay. And sometimes it ain't it ain't enough, especially if you have like a thicker paper. So I normally struggle with creating clean, especially like this one. This is a very intricate one. It always gets snug, right? So that's the thing about the Fiskars, but they do have like this one's a scallop with they're actually really nice. Let's try this one. Okay, and then you have something like this where you can actually, move it and create a circular one. Okay, so you can just move it and then move. Okay, and move until you kind of make like a circle, right? But I'm not so good with this. Okay, this one I love this, but I always, again, I feel that this design, that's the thing, it's because it's a very small part where it can actually push this one, and most of the time it doesn't cut perfectly. We'll see. Okay, and then I do have some from Recollections. Yes, from Michael's. Look at what happened to the color, because this one before and this one's some Mickey. Okay, I'm not sure if this is this is Disney, right? Mickey. But the sad thing though, this one doesn't cut really well. I'll show. Okay, so let's try some of these Fiskars and some of those. So most of these, my friends, are actually border punches, right? So I'll show you what I mean when I say it cuts. Okay, so let's start with this one. Okay, so normally you would push, right? See? Oh, that was okay. Okay, so maybe this one isn't such a problem. But do you see how it, right? It's kind of difficult, but doable. Okay, so one more. Okay. All right. So I have that border, right? So let's cut it so I can have another blank. Okay, so this can go on to like another planner. Okay, how about this one? Okay, like I told you, this one is very intricate. Okay, I've never had a clean cut, never with this one. But who knows, maybe tonight will be the night or the day that I actually get a clean cut. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, what happened? All right, there you go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. You guys. I've never had any good cut with this till now. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. What is happening? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Can we get a clean sweep? Will I be able to punch this perfectly? Okay, come on. Okay, one more for the win. Ah. Oh, I see something wrong. You see this? I overcut that one. But it doesn't look too bad, right? So I'll consider that a win. All right. So that's another one that can go for. Okay, so you'll probably see this tomorrow when I actually put them into journals. So we did this, it was okay. Wow, they're looking great. Oh, how about this one? This one. I know it's, I think I broke this one already. Let's see. Oh, see? It doesn't, okay, so I think what happened here is if you look like that, okay? Okay. So sometimes your punchers, right, it doesn't go in anymore, right? So because it's not perfectly aligned anymore, right? Because I've been trying to use it with very thick paper, and in doing so, it has gotten disaligned or misaligned. So it doesn't, punch through perfectly. So if you want to cut anything or punch anything, it doesn't proceed. See, even if I put a lot of pressure, nothing. So this is actually, it's a good thing I didn't throw it so I could show it to you. So that's one sad thing about punchers though. And they're quite expensive, right? So that's why others have really transitioned to using dies, right? So this one, again, the thing is, it's okay to have this kind of lever when you're cutting a small thing, right? But it's gonna be like a punch, like a border. I feel that the pressure isn't enough, so it's kind of hard to cut through it. See? But it gives you those, images of, and of course, the die cuts of the crown, the shoe. So these are gonna be great shaker bits, right? So if you're gonna make a shaker box or a shaker card or something with a Disney theme or princess theme, you can have those very cute shaker materials from the cutouts. And at the same time, you have a nice border, right? And then, where's the other Disney? Okay, so we have the other Disney. Let's check this out. Okay, I didn't cut through the whole thing anymore. Ah, this is already broken. Do you see? Did you see? It cracked. I don't think this is gonna work anymore. Do you see that thing, that flower thing? That die is already stuck there. It doesn't go up anymore. So if you want to put paper in like so, let's see. Oh, see, it doesn't want anymore. It doesn't cut. Okay, sayang. Okay, and then of course you have this one from Recollections from Michael's. It even has like a door, a latch where it gathers all the, the, what do you call that? The punched things. Okay, I cannot open it though. One. Excuse me. I will try to open it. Okay, but I don't know how. Okay, it's kind of stuck after many years of not being used. When was the last time I used this? My kids were, Sammy was still very young. Anyway, I can't open it anymore. I'll probably have to use a thinner poke tool. This is kind of thick. Okay, thinner one. This. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. It opened. Okay, the latch, if you can see, again, you can cross or a floss, right? So shake your bits as well. So there you go. Okay, let's see if it will still be able to cut this one. So you just close again. Okay, and then let's cut. So try to keep your punchers away from sunlight or direct heat. Because this one also, after it yellows and at the same time, it weakens the plastic. Right? So there you go. It can still punch. Okay, no worries. And there's your punched out. Okay, images. So awesome. All right, so those are okay, basically all my border dies. Okay, and then the next kind of punchers. Okay, so you've seen these are the very traditional punchers, right? So now we're going through, we are memory keepers came up with an amazing line of punch boards, right? Okay. So I'm not sure if you guys would want to see projects with the punch boards, because this actually have been in the market. Actually, everything has been in the market for decades, many years. Okay. So for tonight, I'm just gonna show you some of the different punch boards for We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, so this is one of my very first ones. Okay, so this is the 1, 2, 3 punch board. All right, so with this one, you can actually create an envelope, you can create a bow, and you can even create a box. Okay, and then it gives you let's say you want a box that is this size. Okay, so the length, the width, and the height. So you have 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. All right, so what will you start with? Okay, it will tell you that you need to start, okay, with a paper, okay, that that is 6 by 6. Okay, that is 6. Okay, and then the starting line is the S. So you see here, you have, where do you put it? The S. Okay, so for example, this is your 6 paper. So you start in the S, in the medium, in the large, XL. So it will tell you. Okay, so it does have a guide over here. And then diagonal line will have to be on the S. All right, so it tells you everything. Now, what if you want to make a bow or an envelope? So this was super nice. I've used it so many times. Create boxes for my handmade products. This is an absolute game changer for me. Okay, earlier on. Okay, and then okay, so there is this. Okay, so that's additional. This is the handout. Okay, so if you want to make projects like that, okay, tell me later on which one you want me to actually use for tomorrow's project. Okay, so and then you have one that is like a banner punch board, right? So it can create, if you have a party like Yvette, right? So of course nowadays, if you have a Cricut, you have a Cameo, it's easier, right? But if you want to do it manually, so We Are Memory Keepers came up with this banner punch board, and it can actually, so the one that I had earlier, okay, so this is the one that you will use to actually guide through or cut through it. Okay, and then there is a part at the top where you can actually punch, okay, so the holes. Okay, so that one. Okay, and then I also have this DIY party board where you can create hats, okay, like what do you call that, glasses, okay, and so many other things, just using this one, and of course that punch over there, right? So this one's, okay, again, We Are Memory Keepers came up with so many amazing products, okay, in the past. So what I do, okay, and this is how I store them, okay, and these are actually from Japan home here in the Philippines. It's like a, what do you call that, like a dollar store you have there over the West or in the US, right? So and then I just put it like so, right, and it's stackable, so I'll just put it on top of the other. So all my We Are Memory Keepers are in this kind of containers, and they are over there underneath my Gemini, right? Yes, up to now, every time there's a party or stuff, I still use them. Okay, and then this one, okay, is a mini alphabet. Okay, and this one is the big alphabet. All right, so you have to punch here and there, okay, and then put it in here. Okay, so depends on what letter you are going to. Okay, so this is the smaller version for the mini alphabets. This is for the bigger one. Okay, and so I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. So I put them both together. So if you can see, I remove them in their actual containers, but I keep, right, I keep the cover, and of course I keep the handout, right? So how to actually create a letter a letter B, a letter C, and so on and so forth. All right. So it will tell you how. Okay. So again, you don't need to have like a Cricut machine or a die cutting machine, like, or dice, right? So this, combination punch board, okay, will have everything for you. Okay. So the thing here that I don't actually like is this part, because sometimes it's not as clean a cut as you would have if you have your like usual paper trimmer that's roller or guillotine. That's the only thing. Okay, otherwise it's a great, if for those who have actually this, how are you with this? Do you like it? Not like it? Okay. Okay. So this is another kind. Okay, so again, this is for the party series. They call DIY party. It's actually a garland punch. So as you know, when my kids were younger, okay, I love making parties for them. And then everything has to be like DIY, right? So with this, you just get a piece of paper, and then you will just punch. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Yeah, this is heavy. Okay, so I don't have the arm power for this. All right, but anyway, this is a garland punch, and one of my used punchers, especially for when we have event. Okay, so sorry, it should be the other way around. Okay, there you go. Okay, so tell me in the chat if you want me to show you how we actually use that. And this one is a punch board, okay, that creates squares. So this is a square punch board. Okay, so the thing is, you can always just cut with your paper trimmer, right? But then again, so it's easily and continuously punch squares and rectangles. So I said, oh, that would be great for, like, let's say you want to make your planners, inserts, and stuff like that, right? So if you want me to show that to you tomorrow, okay, tell me. All right. So I'm just going through some of the different, punch boards that I have. This one actually creates an envelope, a mini one. Remember, this one creates like the bigger envelopes. Okay, so like a 5.1 by 9, right? A 7.6 by 12.7, right? This one can, make you the smaller envelopes. All right, and then I have another one that actually, can create. This one is create pockets. Those kinds of pockets. Okay, either for your journals or for your, scrapbook album, right? So everything is also already there. Okay, so yes, just tell me in the chat if this is which of these, okay, you want me to showcase. Another, okay, these are some of the things that I always use all the time, because I read before I actually had the dice for creating this ones. I use this punch boards. So this is to create a gift bag. Okay, so where is the, okay, hold on, let's see if I can. Okay, this is the gift bag. Yes, this is the gift bag. This is what it would look like. Okay, so this is the punch board for that. Okay, so the gift bag, it also tells you how to do it. Okay, what size of paper do you start with? Where do you trim? Where do you cut? Right? It also includes the scoring tool as well. Right? Okay. And then you also have one to actually create a pillow box. Right? So something like this. Right? Okay. This one I actually can, normally I love using, the tissue core. Right after you've used your bathroom tissue, I normally don't throw them, because especially during Halloween, I love turning in them turning those into pillow boxes. But just in case you have like a specialty paper or something that you want to turn into pillow boxes, this is a great punch. Okay, a punch board, a pillow punch board. Okay, and then of course you have the flower punch board. Okay, this one though you also need to buy like the accessories for it. Okay, but this is what I actually did several, I think 2 videos already on this on my channel in the past. Like, so this is what it's gonna look like. So those kind of flowers, right? So you need to have that in that stem. Okay, so everything you need to create that is actually, we're just using this one. All right, so I also have the, flower wires and some adhesives that you can actually use for that. Okay, so again, these were one of my favorites punch boards. And then, okay, this one. I actually have an emoji punch board. I just don't know where it is. If one of my friends borrowed it or if Sam borrowed it, this one can actually create a tab like that. All right, so it's a tab punch board. Okay, and this one is again another envelope, because remember the other one is like 1, 2, 3 punch board because it can create a bow, an envelope, and a box. This one is just really for envelopes, bigger ones. Okay, but very, very, it's basically just similar to the 1, 2, 3 punch board. This one. Okay, so there you go. I think basically that is all the different, punchers I have. You have punch boards, you have border punches, you have punchers that can also emboss, right? So which among those do you actually like? Okay, let me just go back to the chat. Okay, and we have Christina. Hi, Christina, and I hope that you have finally recovered from the long journey back home. Exactly, Caroline, but I'm still not giving up. I'll tell you, you'll be the first one I would message. Okay, I'm just waiting for something. If that is cleared, then yeah, because Paul actually gave me a heads up that if something comes up, I just need to give Paul like a message of something. Yes, good day, Christina, again. Yes, I would love to meet up with Caroline and Dawn if ever I push through, with Creator Camp this year. So funny, we have craft supplies older than our kids. Exactly. Stickers is my favorite. I broke one in contact. They sent me. Oh, wow. That's awesome. If you move the punch closer to your body, you get more leverage. And if you move your punch closer to your body, you get more leverage and easier on your hands. Oh, that makes sense. Right? Thank you so much, Susan. Christina said, I love punches and have a few. My gal pal got me some huge punches for my birthday that cut borders around a 12 by 12. I do not really scrapbook, but trying to figure out how I can use them in a card. Exactly. You know what, Christina, the other day I was going through my sticker packs, right? And then we ended about midnight for me, or about noontime for you guys. And then I wasn't even finished yet. And I went through and proceeded with, organizing them and stuff. And in the end, my friends, I'm so happy. So after all, okay, the many, sticker packs and things that we have gone through, during that day, after the so many, these are the only ones that are originally for my scrapbooks that will remain to be for my scrapbooks. Everything else, actually, I realize can still be used for cards. So I'm like, yay, right? So now I have more things I can use for my cards. Say I ran out of ephemera. Ephemera, right? So I can actually create one just using my stickers that were meant to be for scrapbooks, but now I can use for my cards. right? So these are the only, it's just one bin, my friend. It's just one fridge bin, okay, of stickers. Everything else I can actually use for card making. So I'm super happy. If we didn't do that episode, I would not have realized. And those stickers would have just, stayed in the cabinet, stayed where they were, because, waiting for me to actually go back and create, some kind of a scrapbook layout or a mini album or what have you. But now I realize they can actually be okay for cards. And I created a shorts about it, okay, showing you, okay, what they now look like and how I actually stored them eventually and where they are stored. Okay, so I'll probably come up with that tomorrow. It was supposed to be today, but there were so many awesome things happening today, so I wasn't able to edit. Okay, so there you go. Right, so amazing, right? Going through our old stash. This is such a blessing, going through this series of Card Everyday in August, where we actually went through, of course, the basics of other tools and techniques, and at the same time, going through what we have and trying to use them up, right, in probably a different way from what they were intentionally meant to be used, right? Okay, hold on. Oh, maybe this is Fiskars? Maybe, or because I don't know their tickers, but maybe this is Fiskars. Sometimes YouTube autocorrects, right? Um, yes, so there, Fiskars. I knew it. It was supposed to be Fiskars. Yes. So Susan said, if you move the, oh yeah, this one we read. Okay, making else I might pass them on to my mother who does scrapbook. Awesome. Okay, again, that's another thing that we realized as we went through my craft every day in August, and as we went through my stash. You saw, especially during for the episode where they did like a little bit of mixed media, that there were several already that got, they're no longer unusable. So it was a waste. Okay, just had gone to waste. So if you're not gonna use it, if I'm not gonna use it, might as well give it to somebody who could probably use it better or more, right? So it doesn't go to waste. And Jaden said, I have to check mine. I guess I have hundreds. Thanks for those special segment all for punchers. Thank you, Jaden, as well for being here, my friend. I love my envelope punch board. Use it all the time. There you go. And Francis Irang. Hello, Francis. Oh, I met Francis during the other day. Francis, when was that? What it was, I think it was a Thursday, I think. It was a Thursday. YouTube had a special mini event for several content creators, and it was a blessing that I got to be invited. And I met Francis while we were waiting for our cars. I had mine valid and he was waiting for his. So please do check out Francis Irang's channel. His content is actually, he has a YouTube channel as well. So if you want to see some of the events that happen here in the Philippines and you're probably interested, what do they have in terms of events and stuff? Because he covers those on his channel. So thanks, Francis, for dropping by and saying hi, my friend, and hope to see you again soon. Good evening, Francis. There you go. This is his YouTube channel, my friends. Yes, he's a young content creator and he creates events about, the different events that happen in my country. There, if you interested to see, right? I love that pillow punch. I could really use that. Okay, so what do you want me to do tomorrow? Because today is more like a show and tell of the punchers that I have. So I was thinking I was gonna do some planner layouts tomorrow. But if you do want me to create and use some of those punch boards, especially that the holidays coming up, maybe we could create some pillow boxes for Halloween or for Christmas. Okay, guys, you tell me what you want. Okay, yes, I've made it home safely. It is one. Yes, awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so you love the border and envelope punchers. Yes. YouTube mini accelerator. Yes, absolutely. I remember you, Francis. Thank you so much again, my friend, for dropping by. All right, so now it's that time of the show where you need to tell me, what do I actually do tomorrow, right? So tomorrow will be the application of this border punchers or the punchers. So which among the punchers that I showcased to you tonight would you want me to create projects with tomorrow? Do you want me to use the punchers that you can actually use for your planners? Or do you want the ones that are things that you can create like bags, pillow boxes, envelopes? Okay, so which one? Okay, your wish, okay, is what I'm gonna do. Okay. All right. Okay. So Christina said, okay, pillow boxes for Halloween. Okay. I would love to see the 3D punch boards. All right. Okay. Okay. You guys have spoken, and that's what I'm going to do. All right. So, again, thank you so, so much, my dear friends. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And hold on. And that note, just hold on, my dear friends. Yes. I keep forgetting. I should have already this on my table, but it's kind of small. So again, Susan, thank you for telling me that I'm muted. Right? So thank you so much. And of course, if you are new to the channel and this is your first time, please don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, it gives the platform, the signal that this video might still be pushed further. And of course, please don't forget to share and hit that notification bell so that you always get notified whenever I have a new video, a live stream, or a shorts. And yes, please don't forget to subscribe. All right, so with that, thank you so, so much, my dear friends. Okay, see you tomorrow, friends, from Yvette. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much as well, Christina. And of course, Susan, thank you for everything, my dear friend. And with that, of course, my moderator daughter, Caroline, and all my dear friends here in the Philippines. Again, please don't forget there's PrintCon in October. And if you want to be part of that, just PM me or message me or send me an email. All right, again, with that, thank you so much and have a great rest of the morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. God bless you all. Bye.